company, any company, not only insurance company, in my opinion, has to do only 5 things. They have to keep increasing business, keep lowering costs, keep having better risk management, keep having better connect with customers, and keep employees engaged. So everything in a way rolls up to these 5. So very quick impressions based on your experience and also experience out of a company. I mean, you've been now, what, 5 years out of life insurance as a profession, but see other businesses. So just to be relevant in the world scene, what do you think, how can we double the insurance amount in India? I mean, maybe just quick impressions on how does the industry go about such a thing?
Doubling insurance amount in India obviously will take place. But what is the time frame that you're looking at? Is it within a year, 3 years, 5 years?
Say 3 years. Let's take a case of 3 years.
So if you look at 15 years back, whatever, or by the time when the insurance industry was opened up, the Life Insurance Corporation was the only player. I'm talking about the life side. Of course, the same thing happened in the general side also. There has been, I think, at least quadruple of the insurance. In fact, I remember the time when SBI Life was, as you rightly mentioned, SBI Life was growing quite fast. I had gone to meet the chairman of LIC. And the LIC chairman mentioned that, yes, you people are doing well. But having said that, and with a brand like State Bank of India, and which can compete with LIC, when would be the time when SBI would be competing, SBI Life would be competing with LIC? That's what he mentioned to me. And I felt, yes, the point that he's making is very relevant. Having said that, today the private sector insurance companies, why SBI Life, many of the companies are doing very well. But is it doing enough? Well, that's the question. And if it is not doing enough, why? Now, there is a huge opportunity. We heard in the first session also the opportunity that lies there, the penetration, it's 3.7 or whatever it is. The density is also not there. There were various reasons why it is not doing well was also discussed in the morning. Those who have attended the morning session would be knowing. But now how do we go forward, the business development part of it? We need to basically look at the customers. What is their convenience? The convenience here, you cannot go to an individual level. Of course, we always say that each individual customer is important. We need to look at their needs. But we need to segment. You cannot go to 100 crores customers and ask for the need and do the business. If you could have done that, it's great, but you cannot do it. But what is happening today, as it was rightly mentioned, artificial intelligence, other tech tools are coming. You can, if you have got good quality data, you can do some kind of analytics, and target customers in that manner. Now, if you target customers, the other thing that needs to come into play is products, as well as the cost structure that you have. The cost structure, the regulators, the structure, the cost, the parameters that they have given, you need to look at that, as well as the agent structure. Who are the agents, whether you can do it through the bank assurance, whether you can do it through the agents, whether you can do it through other corporate brokers. You need to look at all that. And having said that, you would find, because the cost structure of the bank-promoted insurance companies are less, they are doing well. There are many other facets, but that is one area they are doing well. They are becoming much more profitable very quickly, is because they have a large
scale-up model
that is there. Yeah. It's not that you cannot do well with agents. You can do very well with agents. LIC has proved it. Even if I take an example of my company, I still call it my company, SBI Life. When I joined, the agent's contribution to the business was much more than the bank assurance contribution. Very few people are aware of it. And even today, the contribution of agency channel in SBI Life is more than 35, it's close to 40%.
Significant.
It's very, very significant. Yeah. So you can have a very good model in agency also, and you can make a profitable business model out of it.
And one thought there, and your impression of it. See, whenever we speak to global insurers or global regulators, we always talk of the penetration levels and all that, and it's always measured in terms of premium. But even if that be so, we never include, as a country, we only include the current regulated insurance market, but there's the postal life insurance, which does insurance. There is also ESI. There is also a lot of self-insurance groups across the country. So what do you think? Forgetting the regulatory ambit, or shouldn't we project reality as it is? I think our overall penetration or overall amount of insurance industry in India is much more than what is projected, isn't it?
True, true. It also holds true for other, in pension.
Yep,
If
pension
you say
also.
it's National Pension Scheme or PFRDA,
Yes.
they do not, pension, there are separate pension bodies. If you look at the coal miners may have a
That's
pension
right.
body, the other companies may have a pension body.
Private managed
private
pensions, so
management,
many,
there are so many. So if you look at it that way, yes, insurance could be, the penetration could be much more. That is true. But having said that, are they properly insured? And is insured, as you are mentioning about, the other countries, the developed countries, their protection plays a major part.
That's right.
In India, it doesn't.
Right.
It is kind of a competitive product to savings and savings product.
Correct.
So we are moving towards protection. Moving towards means it's still early days, maybe from very low, single digit to maybe 10% odd. Some of the companies are doing even 15%, 17%. So we're moving towards protection. And if it is insurance, life insurance, protection is very, very
In
important.
fact, some companies have reached 23 now, which is a
23
very
now.
welcome trend.
Right.
But in the interest of time, which is running out, maybe we'll take one issue, because you've spent also time in the banking industry in risk and credit, and you've seen the risk and compliance situation in the Indian market, in insurance. What is the one problem in risk management that the insurance industry need to solve?
See, the comparison with banking industry and insurance, it doesn't, see, banking actually generally looks at the asset side, whereas in insurance you look at the liability side. But the one thing that each company need to look at is the creation of the embedded value in that company. Unless you create value, and how do you create value? By having specific products which are targeted to the customers, which the customers would look at and would, sort of adopt.
Right.
So is it being created by giving a savings product, which is a competitive product with others, with the banking products, with pension products, or with other products? Or do we really focus on products which will give you embedded value? It is not only good for the customers, it is also good for all the other stakeholders, including the owners, the valuation of the company.
Yeah.
So I think we need to look at that. And if you look at the risk that is there, we have in the morning, I think a lot spoken about fraudulent practices and everybody coming together, the regulators driving it, having a kind of a, the general insurance, the life insurance, they form their own bodies and get good quality data. Any kind of analytics, any kind of risk model has to base on data on which you can rely upon. If you do not have good data, you cannot have any other, whether it's artificial intelligence or analytics. You just cannot move forward. Get the data first. In State Bank of India, I remember, I'm talking of the bank, now the insurance company, about 10, 12 years back, to clean the data, it took us nearly 3 to 4 years' time. It used to be called Operation Ganga. The Ganga may not have been cleaned, but SBI data was cleaned at that point.